Welcome, everyone. Today we're covering Chapter 3, Job Order Costing. This chapter is very important because job order costing is one of the most common costing systems used in real-world businesses, especially when companies produce customized products or provide specialized services. Our focus today is understanding what job order costing is, what kinds of companies use it, and how costs are tracked and applied to specific jobs. Before we jump into job order costing, let's connect this to something familiar. Think about your smartphone usage. Many people spend far more time than they realize on social media, browsing the internet, or playing games. If you tracked your time, you might be surprised how quickly the minutes add up. Too much time online can reduce study time, increase stress, and even contribute to depression. Businesses face a similar issue. If they don't track costs carefully, they may underestimate how much a job costs, which leads to inaccurate pricing and reduced profitability. Job order costing is all about tracking and assigning costs accurately so companies can price their jobs appropriately. Now let's start with our first learning activity. You will see a list of activities. Your job is to identify whether each one is a planning activity, facilitating activity, or controlling activity. Planning means setting objectives, budgets, and schedules. Facilitating is implementing plans through systems and incentives. And controlling is analyzing results and identifying performance problems. Pause here and work through the activity. Once you've finished, check your answers with the solutions provided in the back of Chapter 3. Now let's review the learning objectives for Chapter 3. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to describe the profile of a firm that uses job order costing and the main components of the system. Explain the role of direct material, direct labor, and overhead in job order costing. Explain how losses are treated in a job order costing system. Outline the elements recorded in a job order cost sheet, and illustrate the journal entries associated with job order costing. Now we begin section 3.1. The key question here is what kinds of businesses use job order costing? Job order costing is used when a business produces customized or heterogeneous products. In other words, each job is different. So the business needs to track costs separately for each job or batch. This is different from a company that produces identical units in mass production, where process costing would be used instead. Again, a job order costing system is used when a business produces custom products or provides specialized services. The system tracks costs for each individual job or batch. Examples include custom manufacturers, law firms, construction contractors, service firms where each client project is unique. You should note in your active learning notes, job order costing is used for custom or heterogeneous products and tracks costs for each job or batch. Now we introduce the key cost components that are tracked in a job order costing system. The three major cost categories are direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Direct materials are materials used in production that can be traced to a specific job. Direct labor is the labor that can be traced directly to a specific job, and overhead includes indirect manufacturing costs that cannot be traced directly to one job, so they must be allocated. This exhibit shows the overall cost flow in a job order costing system. Raw materials are purchased and placed into raw material inventory. When materials are issued to a job, usually using a source document like the materials request form, direct materials are moved into work in process. Direct labor is also added to work in process, typically using employee time cards. Overhead is applied to work in process using a predetermined overhead rate. When the job is completed, costs move from work in process to finished goods. When the job is sold, the cost moves to cost of goods sold. Now let's apply the concept. This slide asks you to identify which business would most likely use a job order costing system. Think about which business produces custom products rather than mass-produced, identical products. Pause here and work through the activity. Once you've finished, check your answers with the solutions provided in the back of Chapter 3.